In today's video, I'm going to go over all the ways you can record on Quest 3. So whether you're a content creator or you're looking to record for some fun, I think I can speak for everybody here that the end goal is to record something and not have the reaction of, what the f*** to the quality. So for those of you who don't know, there are advanced camera settings. All you gotta do is go to your settings, go over to experimental, check on advanced camera settings, and go back to your camera settings, and then you will find different ratios, 2 different frame rates, and 3 different bit rates. So I started with the basic default settings. It was the square with its lowest frame rate and the lowest bit rate, which was 5 megabytes per second. I went ahead and zoomed in because YouTube's all about the 16:9 ratio. Now I went ahead and went to the 16:9 ratio and recorded at the lowest bit rate as well, and I compared them side by side, and zooming in didn't really have that big of an effect. This was just a straight zoom at the 16:9 ratio. So then I moved right over to the 16:9 ratio at 20 megabytes a second and the highest frame rate, which was 32 variable. The image quality was much better, and I compared it side by side with the 5 megabytes a second one, and it was noticeably different. The sights of the gun, the bullet casings are a little more jagged, and the elements here have more artifacts in them. Especially when you compare at 40 megabytes a second landscape mode with a 4K resolution. I will show you how to get to this in a moment. I know it's not offered yet. Don't worry, I got you. The only thing I didn't like about this was the bar up top was moving around. However, everything is nice and crystal clear, but the performance suffered immensely when I was recording like this. I would not be able to get anything done in any match possible in Breachers. This would be the recording quality that the advertisers and the developers use in order to showcase their game for game trailers and stuff like this. Definitely not for content creators to get their hands on, because you only got like 2 frames a second in the headset. So if you're doing like first-person shooters, Breachers, anything like that, you will flop every shot. Moving on to stabilization, because you can see that that is a feature offered. This is what 5 megabytes a second with no stabilization looks like. You can see that they do have stabilization and they're very slight. If you look to the far left of the screen, that wobble right there, that is the stabilization. Now when you select low stabilization, it's going to zoom in a little because it's trying to dodge having that bar. However, on the platform, you still get a huge bar and it looks completely disgusting. But if you take a look right here, you'll see how far it zooms in on low settings versus no settings. And then we cut it right over to the high method. As you can see, you get a giant bar. You are zoomed way into like maybe 40 degrees of your FOV. And yeah, right there, compared up against no settings, you can see how far it crops in. If you have developer mode on and you use SideQuest, then you can download the MetaQuest Developer Hub. Now this is for PC users only, but you can access a slew of different resolutions here. As you can notice here, the 1024p at 36 frames a second is the only one offered in the square. Everything else is 16:9. Whenever I selected one of the 16:9s, it cropped it in the actual headset, meaning I was running around with partial view. So this is definitely something for just snaking up some good looking B-roll footage and not so much for actual gameplay. Now at the bit rate, you have from 5 all the way up to 40 megabytes a second. So like I was stating earlier, I maxed the settings completely out. I went with 2160p at 60 frames a second, 40 megabytes per second bit rate. Not only was my view scuffed as shit, the frame rate that I was actually receiving in the headset was terrible, but the recording did look fantastic. So for gameplay wise, I put that right back to 1024p at 36 frames a second, and then I moved to 40 megabytes per second on a couple recordings. However, it did not stick for some reason. Whenever I selected that, it did not give me the 40 megabytes per second. It dropped it back down to somewhere around the 26 megabytes per second area, which was fine because I didn't have any performance issues like this and the recording still came out fine. One more I haven't covered yet, and this is casting. Anybody who's going to be streaming, this would be the best method to go about it in my opinion. Casting to your Chrome browser, I'm going to put the link in the description. I believe it's still oculus.com/casting. You can grab it with whatever program you stream with. Before I get started though, I always turn the volume to about 3/4. I don't go all the way up because it is just overpowering my voice on the stream. Turn the microphone off if you have an external mic. I use this mod mic. The link is in the description as well. It's magnetic. It just sticks right to the side. And then I set mine to crop to landscape because I'm on YouTube, so it works for my platform. So to the quality here, it looks worse than 5 megabytes a second recordings. However, I did not have any audio desync ever in any recording or during my stream. This was a significant improvement over Quest 2. Every time I streamed on Quest 2, the audio just lagged. It'd be like 5-10 seconds behind by the time I was done with like my first hour of the stream. Another way to cast is to the MetaQuest Developer Hub. You can screen grab right there as well, and you do get audio now. Another method to anybody who has a capture card, use a Chromecast. However, from my experience, casting to the Chrome browser seemed to be the best option. So I noticed in SideQuest, everything still says Quest 2 on it, There are settings there to boost the CPU, to boost the resolution, to boost performance, and also to boost recording quality. I did not touch these simply because it was still dated for Quest 2. If anybody's been messing around inside of side quests and tweaking some of the settings, do let me know in the comments. I'm very interested and I would love to spread the information to everybody possible. Hope this video has helped you guys out. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out till then.